That one is for 200K. For use cases. Actually, one more thing before we go there. It has normally though, like I said, this is used for training, so you'll only have two people flying in it.
Farmers. So Madhya Pradesh government has given this contract to us, and we changed those deers and put in a truck and sent to some other place.
But ये मैंने पहली बार सुना है, the helicopter is used to. Okay, now let's cover the 109 power. I didn't think I was like Yogi said. 100 hours in 1 month. Most people think that aviation is only for the billionaires. Well, it's not completely incorrect, but there are certain cases where you do find assets for about 100K, 200K. Today, I wanted to take some time to try and cover why exactly there's so much variance in pricing of the machines. Behind me, I have two choppers. One is a 109 power, one is an R44. This one is for 2 million, that one is for 200K. So today, we're going to go over these two machines and try to understand what exactly the difference is and what the use cases for these different machines are. So why don't we walk on over? Alright, so now we are at the R44. These two of them are the same, the Raven 2 models. Really took off in the early 2000s as the machine of choice for pilots who can train themselves on the helicopters. Basically what that means is that most pilots that you know right now flying helicopters have trained in either an R44 or a version of this machine. It's a very easy machine to both learn on as well. Let's get into use cases in a minute, but before we do that, I just want to point a few things out. There are two blades on the tail, two blades up there. It's basically a much easier helicopter to operate, but it's a lot noisier. That's one of the reasons why VVIPs will not usually fly in this one. A very important factor is the R44 is a piston engine. So it does not actually use jet fuel, it uses avgas. Avgas is just an upgraded version of the fuel that you normally put in your cars. Of course, it's not the same thing, it's a lot stronger, but for comparison, turbine engines use jet fuel, piston engines use avgas. So now let's come to the use cases. Actually, one more thing before we go there. It has the stilts. It does not have the retractable wheels that you normally see in the VVIP helicopter. Machine in itself, this one, well, not this one itself. All Robinsons out there are four-seater machines. One for the pilot and three passengers that can carry. Normally, though, like I said, this is used for training, so you'll only have two people flying in it unless there's a very unique utility to it, which later on in this video, when I interviewed the operators, I found out some stuff that even I never knew of. But like I said, 170 pounds, but in that you need to carry both people as well as the gas. Now, it can fly 300 nautical miles, so if you're in Delhi where we are today, you can get all the way to Amritsar with this machine. In terms, I don't know how far you can look inside, so if you want to look inside, there's barely any avionics on this machine. It's a very easy machine to operate. We actually call them the VFR rules, so visual flight rules. That means you fly as you see. The avionics will give you very little guidance. So, said the first time I saw an R44, it reminded me of the Jetsons space car. It looks really cool to sit inside, but there really isn't any difference between the cockpit as well as the passenger seat because everything is one big machine and was built with the idea that this is not for VVIPs. The use cases primarily used for it is number one, training, but then you can do small joyrides with this one. There are some very unique cases where the cost of operations are low enough that the Robinson actually makes sense, where you could use other vehicles, but people use helicopters instead.
Place to other place because they were harming the agricultural land of the farmers. So Madhya Pradesh government has given this contract to us, and we changed those deers and put in a truck and sent to some other place.
But ये मैंने पहली बार सुना है, the helicopter is used to chase the deers. Deers.
Helicopter. We have a video if you want.
Really, I would like that video.
That will be the video. We were chasing the deer.
So yeah, that's the R44, and now let's go to the next one, which is the 109 power, and then I'll try to cover the difference between the two. Okay, now let's cover the 109 power. I did another video that was on the 109S. That is a variant that came after this one. So this was the power was before. It was around 1996, I think they launched it. Off the bat, it's an Italian machine, so obviously stylistically, it's very different to the R44. There is a definite time and money spent in making this look like a VVIP machine. In fact, one of the unique things I found about the 109 power is on the outside it actually looks very big, When I sit inside, you'll see the space is not as big as it looked from the outside, but still a very decent size. Um, the most important thing, the difference-wise between the two machines, this one is a turbine engine. So, like that one we mentioned is using avgas. This one uses jet fuel. In terms of what it means from this one, each of its engine will have around 560 horsepower. So one engine of this one is double the horsepower of that one, and this has two engines. So quite significant in terms of the speed that it can go with. Also, in terms of how the layout is, as you can see in that one, it was one big cabin. This one, there's a very clear separation between the pilot seats, which is right here, and then the cabin seat. This one is actually called the cabin configuration, where you have 3 and 3 seats facing each other. The leg space is not that great, as you can see. And the headroom is not that great, as you can see. But again, if you compare it to the R44, there's a world of difference. But some other specs in comparison between these two. Now, this one, of course, is a bigger machine. But in terms of speed, that one is around 100 knots. This one is 150 knots. So the speed is not the big difference, but what is the big difference is the seating capacity of this machine. If you see this machine, unlike the other one, this has a separated area. This has a separate cabin where you can have a 6 seating like this. I did a 109S, which is a variant of this that came later in the series. So this is an older version of the 109. But I've done a 109S where I've seen airplane seating, but this one is club seating. So you're facing each other. The cockpit is also here. I don't know how well you can see it, and maybe we'll try to sit inside. There you go. All right. The cockpit of it, if you see the avionics, it's completely different. There's a lot more going on here. You have navigation systems, you have weather radars, and we call them IFR, so instrument flight rules. Basically, this is a machine that can fly itself. It's both a positive and a negative because the pilot's capability can be, well, let's just put it this way. You don't need the most competent pilots to fly this machine, but at the same time, they need to know how to use the avionics. So the level of training is higher. In terms of the use cases, like Italy also has come back from West Bengal. I say also because I did a video recently for another machine that also flew in West Bengal. Apparently, we'll see later in the snippet, this is flown about 100 hours. कितने hours like Yogi से? Around 100 hours. 100 hours in 1 month?
No, it was in 45 days to 50 days, like 50 days.
मैं बोलने वाला था यार ये घोड़ा नहीं है. And more importantly, you can get the spares quite easily. There is an ecosystem around the 109. You don't have to always get things from outside of India. Within India, you can find the MRO and various things there. The is the name of the company. They themselves have their own services that they provide. They are essentially a training academy, but also they do their own operations too. So there you have it. Two machines, both are helicopters, both in the same hangar, but completely different. This is your machine for 200K. This is your machine for 2 million. Right? Depending on what use case you have, whether you want to fly for VVIP operations or whether you want to fly for learning yourself, you will buy a completely different machine. So hopefully this has helped you make some ideas up about what we see behind the scenes in aviation. And the next time you want to buy a machine, don't just go by price point. Understand what exactly you want to use the machine for first, and then make your choice. Thank you.